Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning, Wavy. Yes, FOMC minutes day, not meeting day, minutes day. Just clarifying for anybody who might mistake the two. This is the minutes from the last meeting. Yes, and it can create some volatility and some price action movements. Hello, Connor. Happy Wednesday. Hello, Waka Waka. Good morning, Patrick. Oh, boy. You guys have to stop with the bull and bear traps. It's just going to be another move. It's either going to be a breakdown or a breakdown move. Red Book came out, yes, just a few minutes ago. 13.1, remember, previous 11, and that's a smaller bunch of retail stores, and that's not inflation adjusted, and that's a very minor number, keep in mind, but that's not inflation adjusted. So when you see it at 13.1, let me put those up now. Where did my stuff go? There we go. When you see that, it was right here. It's that can just be due to inflation, not actually consumer growth. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, Options 22. Last FOMC was not good, so the minute should be bad. Well, again, I don't know if we're buying the good or bad or selling the good or bad. All I know how to do is trade the price action. Good morning, Lauren. Jolts and ISM, yes. Well, Jolts again is minor, but ISM, remember the S&P composite again coming out in about 40 minutes, and then the ISM number is bigger, and I'm watching for contraction or expansion. But let's say it contracts. Does that mean people think the Fed's going to hike less and they're going to rally it? Or does that mean, all right, we're going into a recession and I should sell it? I don't know anymore. I'm just going to play the price action. Bulls have been drawing bull flags on every step down, still folks calling new all-time highs. I know. It's crazy, but we have, so just a recap, and we haven't even gotten into earnings compression yet. We have the composite and services PMI. Again, I'm watching to see if it's a miss, how much it misses, and how much it stays above 50. And for the ISM, a manufacturing, I'm expecting a contraction, but again, how much it stays above 50, and I'll be watching the manufacturing prices specifically, and whether employment goes into a contraction. And then at 1 p.m. Central, we have FOMC minutes. So that's where we sit with this. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ring that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term viewers and subscribers, please come back and leave some comments and like the videos. We're trying to get to that 5K subscribers. So if anybody's holding out on subscribing, help get us there. All right, we got that out of the way. Now, it's pretty mixed this morning. Lots of stuff flat. Very mixed bag, some up, some down slightly, but you got a little bigger pullback in oil. But so it's just very mixed markets this morning. Fed watch is still at 88% for the rate hike, 75 basis points, and we're still in negative gamma, so we can get exaggerated moves. You can see here inside day with the S&P. Number of people are looking at this as a triangle pattern. You know how I feel about a triangle pattern. Now, I want to keep in mind, long term, we are still bearish. So even on a rally, I will be watching for another substantial rollover play. So does that mean it's a bull trap? Well, I don't know how to define that. Weekly, here's what I'm talking about. Even on a rally up to this high areas, from the last 2 weeks of June, it hits the rotation zone, and I start playing for another rotation lower. And just a bigger picture thing, monthly, we could be getting the cross pretty soon in the monthly rotation zone. And when you get crosses in the monthly rotation zone, you can see the last one was here in May 08. Boom. And the one before that in Feb of 01, and you generally don't have you generally have the prolonged rallies. Now, I mean the prolonged sell-offs. Now we're still preparing for that longer term. So why I'm stressing that is, yes, even if we break to the upside, I will start watching for another topping pattern, especially with cycles going to get to the top and then the weekly is going to roll over again. So that's when I substantially get much more bearish. Now for this morning, you can see what's interesting on the, if we get the breakdown play, the breakout play now, and this is why I don't like triangles, although it's interesting if you're trying to draw a triangle on this on the bigger perspective. You start getting a breakdown play below about 38.17, and then it really starts running below about 38.10. You're into a clear path move. Yeah, you have some stopping points behind it, but this was a pretty substantial clear path move, and you see it on the 15-minute. There's not major stopping points until down here. So please do keep that in mind to the downside. We do have potential rundown, and here's where I like to fine-tune the levels just by going through the time frames. So if you want to fine-tune the breakdown zone based off the 15-minute, I'd be watching around 38.13, and then we got a rundown, and then the next major areas I'd be focusing on with potential pausing areas are this 12.5% harmonic with this little base 37.70 and 37.82. That's how I do it to the downside. To the upside, minor for a break on the open would be 38.36, but only if we got some momentum above there, and then major breakout areas about 38.50. Okay, so again, and we have the 8:45 number Central Time, the 9 a.m. Central Time, and then Fed meeting minutes. So we could see reversal moves depending. Now we get above 38.50, that's when it gets interesting because we're into a 4-hour clear path. And if you look at the 1 hour, you have an advanced clear path and you got to target the breakdown zone. So on the rally, I'd be targeting the breakdown zone. If we broke out of this above this 38.50, that's where I start going after 38.95, 3900. And then if we close the day above the 62.5 and we don't yet get to the 87.5, I target the most recent high area. That's exactly how the structure is set up. And don't get overly bearish. It would be minorly bearish, but can't get overly bearish for a substantial move lower until we break 37.44 to the downside. Hey, Jake, how are you doing? Yeah, I don't know if bad news is good news, if good news is bad news. I just don't know. It's too much for me to figure out. Hey, Christoph, how is it going? When's the first important earnings? I'll have to look up exactly when second quarter earnings season looks, so ask me that at another point. We don't have much going on this week. We do have a couple minor earnings that aren't going to be market moving. I think a couple things today and tomorrow, but then we have to wait for Q2 earnings season. If somebody has one that kicks off, especially, I know the banks start in, I think is it next week? Let somebody know, let me know when the banks start. I will take a look at the Qs in a few minutes. Let's take a look at that Nasdaq. Do we have a confirmed double top on the 1 hour Nasdaq? That is, yeah, not is it confirmed? It's not triggered. Let's see. That's really a slot, but it could be traded to the downside. 11,731, 11,727. Yes, it is confirmed. The way you know it's confirmed, this would be the base. Okay, so a trade below the base confirms it. It's triggered on a closing basis. Now, if you don't want to wait for a closing basis, I like to watch for the break, retest, roll over play. And since this is a 1 hour, the two time frames I like to focus on would be the higher and lower. So I'd be looking at the 15-minute for a close below there at least, and then a possible retest rollover. And that would be 11,659, 11,624, 11,588, and that's into your clear path move. on that 1 hour. And if you look at it on the 15-minute, right around this area, let me just take this off right now. You see this is the pausing area on the 15-minute, right around that first target area. So that's a really nice first target. And then you have it just in front of that second target. So, you know, you can always modify slightly the targets if you wanted to bump down the second target or bump up the second target just a bit. And the final target is right by this little pullback move before the momentum launch yesterday. So yes, Christoph, that is valid. So there's your breakdown play. Now, if we get a substantial push higher, you know, back up into this 11,850 area, 11,855, that's going to turn into a triple top. And then we get, it could lead to the breakout play. So 11,850 area, you start getting above that retest into this clear path move. Then you have your breakout play on the Nasdaq, and you'd have to target the breakdown zone, which is right around 12,017 to about 12,034 with the harmonic. Then above there, the next thing, if you get that close above the 62.5, you're targeting the 87.5 to the prior highs. And you see that even if you get this little double that triggers back into this, you can't get overly bearish until it gets back below 11,400. Back below 11,400 shifts it back into much more aggressive bearish mode with the, and you don't have the daily cycles at the top. So could we easily run up there and still just retest this weekly rotation zone? Yes. And then get the rollover play? Yes. So that's why everything is very tactile. Dow, again, inside bar, breakout, breakdown play. You can still nearly trade this as a double. I'll just put it on there. Here are your levels below this 30,739, 30,592. 30,521, 30,451 to the upside. Your breakout levels roughly around 30. I'd just go 31,000 at this point. 39.90 is candle bodies, but 31,000. You have this little clear path, and then I'd watch for a retest this high area. Let me just get through some more of this. Russell. Again, we're doing the breakdown or breakdown play. Breakdown, you have a double here too. Not confirmed. The Dow and the Russell were not confirmed. So you actually, it would just be on the closing basis now. 1727, 1716, 1711, 1706. Everything's trading pretty much in lockstep. The breakout play, I'd be using this harmonic level about 1745, and then you're into advanced clear path. You don't have a great breakdown zone here, so I'd be using a 1759 as a stop area, and then you get above there, that'd be 1779. DAX, come on, DAX. DAX, nice little inside bar pause at this point. So the breakout play, and this would be very limited, about 12,665, and that would be a return. For me, this would be very limited upside, return to about 12,775 with the daily rotation zone for another potential rollover. Not looking at anything unless it really breaks below today's established low. You do have cycles turning up on the daily, but and bottoming on the weekly. So we could get the bounce, a little bigger bounce into the rotation zone if it can get above that 12,761. Crude, still watching for a retest of this lower area to confirm that 87.5% harmonic, and no strong bottoming pattern yet. We'll start watching with cycles getting to the bottom on the daily and to the weekly for a potential bottoming pattern, but nothing yet. Aggressive turnaround play would be above a break of today's high. Natty Gas, still, this double is still valid, so that doesn't change from yesterday. Gold, just a pause. Going to watch for the bigger doubles still in play, but we don't have a great setup there. Let's take a look at notes. Still watching for a pause with cycles at the top and then a rollover play and then catching on the key levels. So my key levels are 119.22 and then 118.31. Dollar index continues to push higher. See here, almost next to that harmonic, pausing just in front of it right now. So that's nearly hit. And then if it does continue, but I'm going to start watching with cycles at the top on the daily and the weekly for a potential pullback play in there. VIX, very narrow range still, so that's just going to be either to break out or break down to help confirm, but the double still is in play on that. 10-year popping above, but then reversing, so there's a little pressure on the 10-year from Japan, but a quick reversal lower so far. The yen still holding, still this double is in play. Bitcoin just pretty much flat area with yet another exchange declaring bankruptcy. Tesla, we still, even with this gap down, it's just a retest of the confirmed double area. I don't get concerned unless it really starts breaking back below this 667. Now, this is only a short-term pop-up play for another rollover play, but it is a confirmed and triggered doubles. 707, 74, 716, and 725 roughly. The Qs. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, next Thursday. Thank you, City, on the 15th. So next Thursday it starts. There's your next Q2 earnings season. So next Thursday is when that starts. So even on a rally, and I'm expecting a lot of earnings compression, and I'm expecting banks to not do so well. So that could be a really interesting kickoff to the stuff. You can't say always. You can't say always. It's not an always. The Swissy has been moving low. I just have the spot on here, which is moving it. So it's been moving up, which is the inverse to the futures. Or it's waiting on the 9 a.m. numbers. We could get a couple reversals again today, so you have to be nimble. Let's see. Let me get back to the Qs. I got sidetracked. Sorry about that. Where was that? Well, I know QQQ sloppy. Are you seeing a double bottom on the 5-minute from yesterday? There's no double on a 5-minute. I mean, we've run up. So this was a little mini double that filled the gap, and then you got the run up yesterday. Now, from a bigger perspective, I'd just be keying off the futures. The futures rally, I mean, it's pretty much flat pre-market. You're into this clear path. First level, let me just reverse this real quick. Let me just check some of that. So that's not a double there, so you can't use any targets off of there. But your first target I would be using is about 28.80, and then now the target, very sloppy breakdown zone, but I'd be using 22.91. So 28.80.75, and then 291, and you're going to be watching on a closing basis above the 288.75 area. On a pullback, your key support is 283.66. Breaking above this, and that's the harmonic with the rising 1-hour rotation zone. So those are your short-term levels on the Qs. On the 4-hour basis, the 50 is going to be minor. I'd more focus on the 62.5, and on the daily, really focus on that 62.5 with the flat rotation zone. And daily cycles are turning up. Spiders. Spiders again, breakout or break everything. You know, your spiders, your key levels trading right here. So you're into the clear path. Targets. Let me reverse this too. For the minor targets, minor target, I'd be using the 50% level on this. Will run down about 382.95, and then more substantial target 385.45, and be watching where it closes the day. And again, no double, no double. So you are welcome. You are welcome, Wavy. Good luck. Euro. Euro, if it does, if you get a close above, looks like yesterday's high, it's a little aggressive buy signal up. And then for this, I'd be paying very close attention to this rotation zone to the 50% level. So about 102.20 to about 102.14 to about 102.22 would be the little quick breakout play to the upside. And again, that can be front run, and if it doesn't close above there, then it's null and void. Cycles are at the bottom on the, oh, sorry, that was a 1 hour. That's a little 1 hour play. On the 4 hour, let's see, daily. That's a little 1 hour play. On the 4 hour, your overall bigger target would be about a 102.43. Yep, still watching for the lower prices in oil to put in a potential bottoming pattern. All right, going to wrap that up for now. Open in 4 minutes. Again, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for the people who do leave the comments after this is over. If there's something substantial happens, I'll come on at lunch. If not, remember FOMC at 1 Central. And then we'll be back after hours. So another tactical trading day. We will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.